Can you actually finish a sewing project in just 30 minutes a day? I decided to find out by challenging myself to sew for 30 minutes a day, every day for a full week. No catching up on weekends, no bailing out if it got messy. By the way, I'm Sarai. I've been sewing for nearly 30 years and helping people build meaningful custom wardrobes for the last 15. Let me show you what happened. It's a Saturday afternoon and I've been outside gardening most of the day. I'm sweaty, dirty, and honestly, the last thing I feel like doing is sewing. I just want to shower. But I told myself, it's only 30 minutes. I wasn't sure yet if that would be enough to actually get something done, or if I'd just be trading one kind of pressure for another. That one thought was enough to get me off the couch. A few videos back, I shared the 30-minute rule. The idea that instead of waiting for some elusive free day, you just ask yourself one question. Do I have 30 minutes? Because if the answer is yes, you can make progress, even if it's small. I've been using this on and off for a while now, but I never actually put it to the test on one project start to finish. So that's exactly what I wanted to do here. The project I chose for this challenge is the Seamwork fern blouse in a black and white gingham. It's one of the 4 pieces I'm building for my summer capsule wardrobe, and with the season winding down, I really want to get it finished. I already had the pieces cut, which made a huge difference. One thing I do whenever I have a bigger chunk of time is dedicate it specifically to cutting. So when I sit down for a shorter session, I can dive straight in. I printed out the table of contents from the pattern instructions to use as a checklist. That way, I always know exactly where to pick up next time, no mental load required. Before starting, I changed my needle, something I do between every project, and stay stitched all the pieces that needed it. Partway through, I noticed my tension was off and the machine was making a slight clunking sound. So I rethreaded, which fixes about 80% of stitching problems. That's the thing about short sessions. You're going to hit snags. When you know your go-to fixes, a hiccup is a 2-minute detour, not a reason to call it a night. Then I moved on to constructing the plackets. I decided to cut them on the bias because I love the way that looks with a gingham check. The diagonal stripe adds this lovely detail at the front opening. One trick I used here, glue-based the edge in place before stitching. It saves time and keeps the stitching precise. The placket stays exactly where you want it. In half an hour, the plackets were done. I checked them off my list. I was genuinely surprised by how much I got done on day 1. The constraint worked, not despite how tired I was, but because of it. 30 minutes felt completely manageable, even on a day when I thought I had no energy left. Speaking of projects that are perfect for this kind of approach, if you want to try your own 30-minute sewing challenge, our new Sorrel tote bag is the ideal place to start. It's fully lined, shaped by darts, and broken into steps that are easy to pick up and put down. It's the kind of project you could finish in just a few sessions and walk away from each one feeling like you actually got somewhere. It's completely free this summer, so grab your copy using the link in the description. I spent most of the day spackling and painting my office. By the time I finished and had dinner, I was tired and covered in paint, but half an hour of sewing seemed totally doable. Honestly, it sounded like exactly what I needed. The next step was to sew the raglan seams, which went quickly, maybe 15 minutes. That left me with time to spare, so I moved straight into gathering the neckline. Of course, my bobbin ran out halfway through. Doesn't that always happen at the worst possible moment? But I rethreaded, finished the gathering steps, and called it a night. The blouse was already starting to look like something. Tomorrow, the neckband. I'd had a long, mentally draining day at work, so I made myself a lavender and lemon verbena mocktail with herbs from the garden and headed out to the sewing shed. Sometimes a fancy drink is just the reminder I need that this is a creative break, not a task to get through. Today, I only wanted to do one thing: sew the neckband. I spent extra time pressing before stitching. When you're sewing a neckband, getting everything lined up precisely before you commit makes a real difference. I used a walking foot to stitch over the gathering stitches so everything fed through evenly. When I finished pressing it into place, I could finally see what the blouse was going to look like. It's like a little cape at this stage, which I love. Lucy came and paid me a visit while I was setting up. And just as I was finishing, I heard panting outside the window. Gordy had arrived too. Another stressful day. I was tired and a little run down, and when I thought about sitting down to sew that evening, I felt resistance in a way I hadn't the days before. But then I remembered how much better I'd felt after sewing the night before. So instead of waiting until evening, I decided to do my 30 minutes on my lunch break. This is when something clicked for me. The hardest part was never the sewing itself. It was the resistance before I began. And telling myself it would only take 30 minutes was enough to get me past that resistance every single time. I wasn't trying to rush through as much as possible. I wanted this to feel like a break. That's an important distinction. The goal of the 30-minute rule isn't to maximize output. It's to show up. I sewed the side seams first. Once those were done, I could try the blouse on and get a real sense of how it was going to look. Then I made the sleeve bias bands, which were quick. I decided to stop there and save the sleeve gathering for tomorrow rather than rush it. I left the sewing shed less stressed than when I arrived, ready to enjoy the rest of my lunch. What keeps coming up across all these sessions is how much the right project makes this framework feel effortless. If you haven't grabbed the free sorrel tote bag pattern yet, it's a great one to try it with. The steps are clear, the construction is satisfying, and it's exactly the kind of project that builds momentum one session at a time. The link is in the description. A sunny day, and I needed to fit sewing in before our weekly agility training session with the dogs. I had limited time, so I set a timer, something I hadn't done on the other days. Setting the timer actually made me feel more confident about keeping the session short. It removed the ambiguity. I knew I could stop when it went off. Today's goal was to finish gathering the sleeves. I wasn't sure I'd finish in 30 minutes, and I decided ahead of time that if I didn't, I'd just stop. No drama. Before I started, I read through the entire step. One of the most effective ways to avoid mistakes that cost you time. Pay particular attention to any numbers, seam allowances especially. For the gathering itself, I tried a slightly different approach than I'd used on the neckline because I hadn't been completely happy with how evenly those gathers had distributed. This time, I sewed the gathering stitches, then pinned the binding on and adjusted the gathers to the right length. Before stitching, I removed the binding and added Wonder Tape directly on top of the gathers to hold them in place. Then I put the binding back on. This way, the gathering stays evenly distributed along the whole binding without any worry about puckers or snags when you stitch. The timer went off just as I finished the Wonder Tape step. Not quite done, but close. I was off to agility training, and that was completely fine. Early evening after a long day. And because I'd left off in the middle of a step yesterday, I actually felt eager to jump back in and finish it. There's something worth noting here. Ending a session in the middle of a step rather than at a natural stopping point can make the next session easier to start. I felt kind of eager to finish the step I'd left undone. It feels counterintuitive, but something worth trying out intentionally. I quickly finished stitching the sleeve bands and moved on to the hem. The blouse was almost done. Even in these short daily blocks, it had moved fast. Tomorrow, buttonholes and buttons. The finish line. All that's left are the buttonholes and buttons. First, I had to actually choose the buttons. I'd never got around to picking them out. I dug through my button stash and found black glass buttons in exactly the right size. Choosing buttons is genuinely one of my favorite parts of any project. A button is a small thing, but the right one can completely change the character of a garment. These felt exactly right with the gingham. Then, things got a little chaotic. I started marking the buttonholes. Worth noting, I often have to remark them by the time I get to the end of the project, and this was no exception. The third buttonhole came out slightly crooked, so I ripped it out. The replacement came out wonky too. What was going on? I moved to scrap fabric to test. My machine started eating the fabric and bunching everything up. But now I had about 15 minutes left and I could feel myself tensing up. I cleared all the settings, started fresh, and the buttonholes came out fine. And then I caught it. I was the one creating the pressure. The 30-minute sessions were supposed to make sewing feel fun and motivating, not turn it into a deadline I had to hit. The constraint was meant to work for me, not against me. I slowed down. Everything got easier. The buttonholes came out better for it. Then, just as I reached for the black thread to sew on the buttons, I knocked over my thread caddy without the lid closed. Thread everywhere. But I just took a deep breath, a few extra minutes sorting it out before I could finally sew the buttons on. The blouse was done. A little late, and that was completely fine. That's the whole point. Show up for your 30 minutes, and the sewing takes care of itself. So if a week of 30-minute sessions can finish a blouse, the real question is how to make that work in your own sewing practice. Not just for one project, but as a habit. That's exactly what I break down in the full 30-minute rule video, including the 5 components that make it actually stick. Watch that next.